Welcome to another edition of the Sim Racing Garage. I'm Barry Rowland, and in this episode, we'll be reviewing my custom-built Audi R8 LMS reproduction wheel. Zack at Turn Engineering builds most of this wheel by hand with a very solid result. I consider the grip on this wheel to be really the best feeling of any wheel I've had my hands on to date. But let's see what else this wheel brings to the sim racer's table with the SRG review process. So let's get to it. So now let's take a closer look at what we get when you order a custom Turn Engineering Audi R8 wheel. First off, it comes in this great case. It's a Pelican-like case that has, of course, the pressure release on it. It's a watertight seal. It's got an Audi sticker that he's actually put on here, and he has a Turn Engineering carbon fiber plate up here. It's got like a high gloss finish on it. Get you a closer look over here. Really nice finish there. And you can see this is very nicely done. It's got little places here that you can lock your case so nobody can steal your beautiful wheel. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look inside, because that's where the real good stuff is. All right, looks like we got a T-shirt from Turn Engineering. It's black with a yellow Turn logo on it. Put some of this stuff over here. And we get a Turn decal. Looks like a red, or actually it's orange. And of course, we get the main attraction, this beautiful feeling and looking Audi R8 wheel. We also get some other goodies. Let's see, this is some bolts with the nylon lock nuts on them so that we can put our quick release on. What else we got? We got a bunch of, well, not a bunch, but we got a couple of extra pairs of paddle shifters. And I actually like the ones that are on there now, but you can actually put different ones on. Very nice. And some more stickers. Let's see, we got an Audi sticker. We've got another Turn Engineering sticker. And a personal business card from Zack himself. And also have this wonderful looking USB cord with these great lumbar connectors on it, but we'll get to those in a minute. All right, so let's go ahead and close this up. I'll let you see the inside too. Got the nice foam egg stuff on here. Very nice, nicely done in this case. All right, so the wheel. First off, the first thing when I got this wheel, and like most of you, if you pull a wheel out of a case, you put it in your hands and you just want to get a feel for, well, what it feels like. And this was one of those wheels that you pull out and you first grab it and you just go, wow, it just feels really comfortable right away. It almost feels like he knew what my hand size was and was able to get it dialed in. And even with bigger or larger hands, I imagine it'll be fine because the reach for the shifters is perfect for me. And somebody with a larger hand obviously will never have a problem reaching them either. It's just one of those things. The suede, it feels really good. It just fits in your hand like a glove. But it really feels nice, and I've actually driven it, and it really feels good driving it also. Just one of those wheels, like I said, it's just as soon as you get it in your hand, you go, wow, man, this really feels good. It's one of the best feeling out-of-the-box wheels I've ever had. And, of course, no matter what wheel you get, we can adapt to it later on and really don't notice if there was something we didn't like, like a small little thing we didn't like about it. We get on with the business of driving, obviously. So let's take a closer look at this wheel over at the other shot here and go over some of the features. First off, the Audi label or Audi decal that you see here, the Audi rings, they did not come with the wheel. They are actually something that I put on there. And you can see Turn Engineering's underneath there. And I just kind of put it on top to give it that Audi look. And if you turn it right, you can see the Turn Engineering. So the rotaries, big fat knobs, they're easy to grab when you got your gloves on, or if you don't have gloves on, however you drive. And they have very nice positive clicks to them. Feel very good, nice and firm, not loose and sloshy or sloppy like some switches, like some rotaries rather, that I've had before. And we've got this buttons here that, you know, I'm a big fan of the knitter buttons, the smaller round ones, because they have such a loud tactile click to them. But I have to say, these buttons feel very good. They have a nice tactical click to them also. And of course they're shaped like this because, well, this is a replica wheel. So that's the kind of buttons they use on the real Audi R8 wheel. Now, again, all the buttons feel good, and you notice I have a decal on here, and this is another part of the customization process at Turn Engineering. You can, well, put whatever colors you want to on here. I think there's 3 different color schemes that you can put on, and I believe this is the regular R8 one, so I just went with that. And you can get the labels put any way you want also when he's printing these decals that are going across this aluminum plate here. And I'll get a little closer here, you guys can see what they look like. And again, you can put anything you want. I just went with pretty much the stock configuration that's supposed to be what the R8 has, but then again, from race to race, who knows, they probably change the R8 wheel too, depending on what function they want the button to do. And we can see that he has some nice countersunk screws in here holding this back plate back here to the front aluminum plate. Now this front aluminum plate he actually cuts out himself in a CNC machine that he built. I'll show you a picture of it there. And also these grips, he molds his own grips, and then he hand sands them down to get the feel that he feels like is the right one. And I can tell you, like I said before, as far as I'm concerned, it really feels good. Now, the suede on this, again, is hand laid by him, hand glued on. And I have to say, you can see the seams in here, and they're just really, really well done all the way around in here. And probably maybe the most difficult place to do the seams on the very ends here where the caps are. They're not sticking out too bad. I mean, I've actually had Momo C wheels that looked horrible up here where they put this little round pad of suede on there. They just didn't get it glued down right, or they had some glue squishing out somewhere. But then again, you know, Mobo's just a factory, and sometimes some of that stuff will get out of the factory and get past their quality controls. So anyway, very nice suede. Get a close look. Fitting very well. And again, just you can feel it just feels so good. It really does. Even the bottom ring down here just feels substantial. It's thicker than almost any other wheel I've had in my hands. And maybe that's why it just feels good to me, because I have a smaller hand and it really fills up the palm part of my hand when I grab it. Right. So anything else we can look at here? Oh yeah, on the back, let's take a look at there. And this is again, he cuts his own plastic covers out. And you can see, well, this one actually has some scratching on it because, well, I've already been driving it, and I'm not the most careful person when it comes to taking and putting on stuff like the quick release, the Q1R wheel side quick release that's been on and off this thing. Also, we have a nice USB connector. Now, this is a Lumberg connector. I'll show you a little close up there. And that's the female part. We'll get to the other part in a second. And these wonderful, always class-leading Martin Asher carbon fiber magnetic shifters. Very, very nice. Now he's actually working on his own shifter design. They just weren't ready for this review when he's actually going to introduce those later. Hopefully I can get a set of them, put them on here, and do a quick review of what I think of those shifters. But of course you can never go wrong, obviously, with the Martin Asher shifters. They are very, very nice and always deliver. Now, we'll get inside and take a look at the wiring and stuff in a minute, but let's look at this USB cable that I had custom built for me. And again, being a custom wheel, it's easy to get anything done you want to as far as when you make your order. And these Lumberg connectors are very, very nice. I really like them. You can see the little 5-pin units, 5 conductor. And they have that little guide notch in here. So when we connect it to the female part, we don't get the wires or the little post in here crushed because we're putting it on the wrong way. And this is a very nice thick cable. I really like the thicker cables. That's really one of my favorites, actually. Even though Martin Asher, I kind of like his cables too, but they're like half the size of this, but they have this really cool feel to them and are very flexible. But these are nice too. And when you first get these thicker ones, you kind of have to stretch them out a little bit just to get the newness out of them. But once you do that once or twice, then you won't have any problems as far as feeling like it's going to be too stiff, and it won't stretch when you need to when you're turning your wheel quickly. Also, we have a ferrite core, little snap-on ferrite core here. Very nicely done. This is one of the things that custom builders will do. This, of course, a ferrite core, that's purpose is for noise suppression that keeps the RFI and EMI out of our USB cable signaling. So these little crazy little gremlins that tend to pop up, and we're trying to figure out what the heck is going on because our wheels or our buttons aren't working quite like they should. Well, this helps eliminate that, so it's great to see one of these on all USB cables. In fact, I have a few of these that I clip on all my USB cables also, just because. Right, so what else did we get custom made on this? Actually, we got a, yes, there it is. I had him make up this cable, and this is 9 feet of USB cable, nice industrial type cable, and it's straight, and it's got the gold connector on it and another ferrite core. But the cool thing is I had him make an end here that will go into profile, or 80-20 profile, or extrusions, if you will. And I'll get a closer look over here. Again, using gold connectors, always nice to see that. And again, another ferrite core is on this one too, very nice. And we've actually taken a female, the same thing that's on the back of the wheel here, and installed it on this. And a very nice piece of carbon fiber he's cut out to accommodate this with some 10 series T-nuts. I'll probably be putting this on a 40 series, but that's okay because I have a 40 series roll-in nuts, the spring balls that take these screws, so that's no big deal to go 10 or 40. It really doesn't matter either way because it's a lateral spacing here, so it won't matter. It's not vertical. And he did a nice job of sealing up the wiring that he did all the soldering on the back of the female plate. Very nicely done. These are JDM, what do they say? JDM Speed, yes. JDM Speed little gold beauty rings. Nice touch. Again, this is kind of stuff you can have done when you order a custom wheel. And I really like this. I've already used it and had it in the channel. It's very nice to have a nice solid mount to be able to just plug in and twist, and you're ready to go with the wheel that you just changed out. Very, very cool. I really like this. Also, back to this USB cable. Let's go ahead and connect it to the wheel and see what it looks like. Go over here and get a close-up of it. So it's a rather simple affair, actually, as you might imagine. We just got to make sure that, again, on the female, you can see that there's a notch in there that will guide us in so that we don't get all cross-pinned on us. And we just find out where that notch is, slide it in, see together. So it's plugged in now, and just, of course, it's a simple matter of tightening up the little collar here, and we are good to go. Very nice, tough, strong connection. Very cool. I really like this. I think it looks pretty cool too. Again, if you're going to be paying for a custom wheel, why not have some custom bits like this on it? And I've seen some wheels that cost more than this wheel that just had a USB type B interface on it, which is fine. It works fine. But, you know, if you're going to get a custom wheel, you might as well have something fancy on the back too, I think. Anyway. So, pretty much that's all we've looked at. I mean, this is all that really I can show you on the wheel on the outside. Again, these shifters feel great. The grip feels great. It's just a natural. As soon as you put it in your hand, it's just like, wow, man, I want to go driving with this wheel. All right, so when we come back, I'm going to go ahead and take everything off. Not everything, but I am going to take this back plate off, disconnect the shifters, and pull the plate off, and we'll actually take a peek in there and see what the wiring looks like. So now we have the back plate off of the wheel. And let's take a look at that plate before we get to actually what's going on inside the wheel. First off, this is some kind of a plastic. I'm not sure what it is he used, but you can see that he actually custom mills out these plastics himself. And if you grab the plastic, it's really not, there's no flex. Well, maybe just a tad of flex, but not much. This is a very solid, tough plastic here. And only flex would be right here where this thinnest part is. But otherwise, if you just grab it from both sides and try to flex it all the way at the ends, you can feel just a little bit in there. But again, this is not a structural piece. It's really just a beauty cover when it comes down to it. And of course, the shifters are mounted to it. But once this gets mounted to this aluminum plate, then all that's going to stiffen up, obviously, because you can't feel anything as far as flex, period, when you have the wheel in your hand and you're using those shifters. Solid as a rock. Now, let's take a look at what's going on back here. First, we can see this great looking powder coat. Because of the decals on the front, obviously we can't see it that well. But you can see this is that aluminum plate that he cuts out, his own custom aluminum plate. Obviously it has to be for this Audi wheel button configuration. And he actually powder coats it. I'll show you here a shot of him actually using the powder coating booth. So he does his own powder coating on this also. Just completely, almost all this stuff is in-house. Right, so you can see it's a very tidy wiring job. Very, very nicely done. It's using a, give you a close up here. And what you're going to see on the top is a 836A matrix board that Bodner makes. Basically, that's a daughter plug-in board, and we'll flip it around. You can see over here that there's a header in here, right in here, that plugs into this bottom board, which is the regular main board, which is also an 836, a BU0836. Again, a very popular and very high quality button board, and a lot of wheel builders use this because of that. You can see these encoders here, the rotaries. I don't actually see any numbers that I can read on. Well, there's one little number. It's a 1647. I'm not sure what or who makes that, but I guess it's not that important. What is important is when you turn these things, they have a nice feel to them. You can see them, the detents, maybe when I'm turning it, how my fingers are turning them. Very nice solid feel to them, a nice tactile feedback. All the wiring obviously is soldered to the buttons here. He's using shrink tape. A very good job, very uniform. That's what you want to see when you open a wheel up. You don't want to see a bunch of helter-skelter wires running anywhere, or everywhere. Even though it gets the job done, it's nice to see that it takes a lot of time actually. If you ever try to put one of these together, to get the links correct and the bends correct, to make the links right, to go over to the board. Now, each one of these switches is terminated, and it's not soldered to the board. It's actually, let's see if we can see a good shot of it here. Each one of these is actually a small plug on each end of these wires, and they plug right into the board this way. So they're plugged into the board going straight down all the way across the top here. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that in the video, but we'll hold it there just in case you can see that. But I think you can see some of it pretty good right in here, right in there, yeah, down the bottom. So, very nicely done, obviously. And I like the way he terminates his shifters in plugs. So we got these little RJ plugs here. Not sure the actual model of those. And then for the USB connection, he also has a nice plug. So this allows you, once you get this back, the rear cover loose, then you can actually unplug the USB, you can unplug your two shifters, and everything just comes cleanly away. So you're not fighting something that's still soldered to the board, and you've seen me do that before, that I can't really get it apart because it's soldered on there. But this is a whole different story. You can disconnect those wires, take this off, and you've got a very nice piece of serviceable equipment here. Plenty of room to do everything you need, as far as if you needed to ever replace a switch or a rotary or whatever the case may be. So, or the board burns out, who knows? I doubt that's going to happen, but you never know with this stuff, right? So again, very, very nicely done here. And actually, in the closer look part of the video, I forgot to show you guys the actual width of this wheel. I'm sure a lot of people are gonna be saying, well, gee, Barry, you didn't tell us how wide it was. All right, so we're gonna look at that right now. And remember, this is his custom design, so he decided to go with it looks like it's right on, I would say that's 300. So 300 millimeter wide grip. Maybe that's why it feels good too, because all the other C type wheels like this that I've handled, they were like 270s, 280 or something like that. It's amazing how much 10, 20 millimeters can make when it comes to actually driving the wheel and being able to twist your arms around and stuff like that when you're trying to make a real sharp turn. So yeah, 300 millimeters is the width here. Very good. Right, so anything else we need to see here? I don't think so. Nice, if I show you this real quick. He does have those nice counterboard or countersunk bits in the wheel itself right here. And he's using these nice flathead screws to attach it with. Again, just adds to the custom look. So, not much else to see here. So what we're going to do is put everything back together, of course, and then we'll go ahead and get our Q1R quick release on it, and the next thing you'll see is me driving this wheel. So we'll get to that next. Okay, so here we are at Road Atlanta. Yeah, that's where we're at, Road Atlanta. And this is iRacing, of course, and obviously we're going to be in the Audi R8 LMS. And actually the LMS Audi right now is a finally a well-handling car. It doesn't, when you run up on the curbings, it doesn't kick it all the way across the track and into an immediate disaster. Ever since they first brought out the R8, I was really disappointed in the modeling of the car, because it just didn't handle worth a darn. It was, it's slippery, slide all over the place, really hard to, no matter what you did to suspension, it was always seemed tight, and if you hit any curbing at all, it would just send you into a slide. But this latest release on the build, and has the Audi R8 as a baseline, or balance of power, if you will, car. So everything else is kind of molded around that. They've really come out with a good change on the R8. Now you can actually ride up on curbing and not immediately get ejected off the track. So that's a big bonus. Anyway, back to the wheel. First off, you see I'm resting my hands on the top of the wheel here, which is nice, and I can still shift there, and I stretch my fingers out so that you can just rest your hands from gripping the wheel really tight. And I grip the wheel really tight because this direct drive force feedback wheel can put a lot of force out, and I've got it dialed up pretty high when I'm driving, because that's just the way I like to feel it. Make it feel, as realistic as I can without, really injuring myself. But this grip on this wheel, like I said before, it's just to my fingers and hands, it just wraps around there naturally, and it gives me the confidence to ride up on the curbs under these kind of direct drive force feedback forces and maintain control, and not be afraid to go ahead and cut the track a little bit, as long as obviously I don't get penalized from it from iRacing. And just like right there, it just gives you the confidence to hang on and adds to the immersion, obviously. Now, this wheel again is 300 millimeters in width, which is really what most of the GT cars, I believe, are running, the 300, maybe a 310 or 320, but they're all going to this open wheel, or topless wheel, some people call them, in their cars now, because it just gives you obviously better visibility of your instrumentation, of the track in general, of your opponents. And it's just a handy thing to have, and I'm glad to see them finally coming out on this side instead of the size where it was like a 250, a 270, or a 280, which are all kind of small. And when you're trying to really go around a curve and have to turn the wheel all the way around like the hairpin, you'll see me do that on the hairpin on this track, where I can actually turn the wheel all the way upside down, and still, because my hands are 300 millimeters apart, they don't interfere, the arms don't bump into each other. So that's a lot of more comfort on the long races, and it helps you go around the curve better, lets you steer better, in other words. So what else can we talk about on this wheel? The buttons and the knobs, of course, they all function perfectly well, no issues there. And of course the shifters, well, they're Martin Asher shifters, so enough said about that. They're just some of the best in the business, and they keep delivering over and over. I have several sets of these on other wheels and never had a problem, and they just have that right tactile feel that I really like. So it's a package. The whole wheel comes together very nicely, and it's just a well-handling wheel. Watch me go around this hairpin here. You can see I'll go all the way, well, maybe on that turn I didn't. I took it a little wider. But if I go all the way upside down with the wheel, it feels better than if I had like my 270 on there. Looks like we got a faster Ford GT coming up around us here. He's in a different class though, so I'm not that slow. So it looks like he wants to go around the outside, and that's fine. I really enjoy the wheel. This wheel is going to be, you're going to see it a lot in some of my reviews, because I'm going to be using this wheel a lot. It's probably the most comfortable, well, it is the most comfortable wheel that I have right now that I like to use, and so you'll probably be seeing a lot of it on my rig. And what I'll do is just maybe run another lap or so, let you guys watch that if you want to. If not, I'll see you on the other side at the final thoughts segment. Final thoughts on Turn Engineering's Audi R8 LMS custom wheel. It's great to see more custom wheel builders in the sim community. It's not an easy craft to pursue and takes a lot of personal and financial commitment to get their wheels built. Zack has done a great job on this replica wheel. Having only pictures to go by, he has produced a wheel that is really the closest thing that most of us will ever get to the real thing. And a lot of work has been done by hand. He created his own grip molds to get what for me is, well, the best grip I've had on a wheel to date. It just feels right as soon as you have it in hand. He also wraps the suede leather on the molded grips, but only after spending hours hand sanding the molded grip to get the shape that it has. Truly a labor of love. And it shows in the results. He built his own CNC setup to cut the wheel's aluminum frame from billet aluminum. From there, he applies the powder coating in his own home-built enclosure. The electronic bits are all top-notch kit, and his wiring, well, it's among the best I've ever seen, with proper wire terminations throughout the whole build, allowing the user easy access to electronics in case the need arises. Zack is also ready and willing to do custom wire terminations like my Lumberg connector setup. He's able to print his own wheel decals so the customer can get whatever they want as far as button labeling. Then, everything is finished off with a nice custom watertight presentation case. And it even has custom branding and labeling attached to it. Now, the way I ordered my wheel, the total came out to be $900, which, of course, is no small amount of money. But once you see the total package of what you receive in turn, well, it definitely does reflect the price. Not everything that has come through the SRG has done that. So, if you're in the market for a great looking and, to me, great feeling Audi R8 LMS reproduction wheel, then drop Zack an email and see what he can do for you. I'm Barry Rowland, and thanks again for watching the Sim Racing Garage channel.